40 years before our heroine was born, the wars between dragons and humans were stopped by the signing of the Commonwealth Treaty. This brought an uneasy peace to all the land as dragons were allowed to live among the humans. But there was a cost for this peace. The dragons could only reside in the cities while in human form. But this is not a tale about the tension between humans and dragons. This is a tale about the half-girl, half-dragon who saved us all. Seraphina. Half of Levondaville had flocked to the town square for the sheer pleasure of being terrified by the dragon procession to celebrate Kimono Day. The elderly were the only ones who remembered the times when dragons were a common sight. Everyone knew the stories, though. Villages burned to the ground. People turning to stone if they looked a dragon in the eye. Even stories of knights who fought valiantly against the terrifying dragons. After the Commonwealth Treaty took effect, the knights were banished from the kingdom because without dragons to fight, they had turned to antagonizing God's neighboring nations. Rumors still circulate that some knights are hidden in the mountains or deep countryside. But for now, we return to Seraphina's story.
Maybe he fought dragons. He certainly looked old enough.
It's teeth! It's terrible teeth!
It is much better to see a dragon's teeth, because if their mouth is closed, they are likely working up a flame. Up front, there are some of the Dragon Queen's most trusted officials, and Princess Diane and her young daughter Griselda.
Absentee, Mauricio. This is going to last all afternoon. Since we were forced to celebrate Commonwealth's treaty, you would think our braggart Commonwealth would actually show up. He hates coming south, especially hates taking human form. Oh, girl, he obviously fears you. I think that shows intelligence.
Whoa. Gas bags.
Helpies!
One of the dragons near the center got spooked. Maybe the crowd drew too close or a snowball hit him. The people begin to panic and run, but there is nowhere to escape because of the massive crowd. The leader of the dragons gave a blood-chilling bestial cry, but Seraphina understood it.
Heads down.
Procurate! Wings folded! If you take off, you will be in violation of Section 7, Article 5, and I will have your tail before our tribunal so fast!
The crowd didn't understand the dragons like Seraphina did. Their exhortation sounded like fearful screams as their hearts were stricken with terror. She was injured in the people's panic. Then suddenly, she felt hot breath on her neck. Seraphina opened her eyes. A dragon stood over her, his legs 4 pillars of sanctuary. She almost fainted.
I'll escort you over there.
She put a shaky hand against his leg to steady herself. His leg was rough and immovable like a tree.
Thank you, sire.
Understand what I said, or are you responding to my perceived intent?
She did understand, but how? It seemed safer to her not to reply, so she stood in the alley without a word. He stood behind her as people scrambled to get out of their way. The majority of the dragons had organized themselves in a circle around Princess Diane's carriage, shielding her from the mob as they exchanged this duty with the guards.
Seraphina.
She was astounded he knew her name.
You don't recognize me at all? Your mother thought she would be able to leave you with at least one memory.
She dropped to the ground under the weight of her oncoming vision.
Please, Orma, I want you to be a part of this child's life.
I will not, nor will I maintain relationship with your husband upon your death.
I'm going to leave my child with a mind pearl, a collection of memories. It will be released at the sight of you in your natural dragon form.
Under what circumstances would the child ever see me in full dragon form?
When you are ready to admit that you are an uncle. Now please, go get my husband.
This was only the beginning of Seraphina's journey to find her identity in a place where she was not accepted as human, nor as dragon. There is much more to this tale of bravery, self-discovery, and love. The one true story of Seraphina Dome Bay.